Los Angeles, the city of stars, palm trees, and fame. But behind the glitz, there's a darker side. One where some of hip-hop's brightest names met their tragic end. From young Gen Z rappers who were just getting started to established legends with the world at their feet, LA has been the backdrop to some of rap's most heartbreaking stories. Tonight, we're counting down 8 rappers who tragically lost their lives in Los Angeles. Stay locked in because each story gets more chilling than the last.
Let's start with Pop Smoke, the Brooklyn drill superstar who was only 20 years old. In February 2020, he rented a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. What was supposed to be a getaway turned deadly when armed men broke in. Pop Smoke was fatally shot, and just like that, the rising star who gave us Dior and Welcome to the Party was gone. His death shook not just LA, but the entire world, because we knew we were watching the birth of the next legend. But Pop wasn't the only Gen Z voice silenced in Los Angeles.
Lil Keed, born in 1998, was part of Young Thug's YSL family. He wasn't killed by violence, but by something just as tragic, his health. In 2022, while in Los Angeles, Keed passed away at just 24 years old due to organ failure. He had a voice unlike anyone else, blending trap energy with raw emotion. Fans believed he was next up for Atlanta rap, but Los Angeles became the city where his journey ended too soon. And just months before that, another West Coast talent was taken violently in his own city.
Earl Suave was only 26, a Gen Z rapper mentored by A$AP Yams. In January 2022, he was shot and killed in Los Angeles. He had been representing the gritty streets of South LA, and fans saw him as one of the voices carrying West Coast rap into the future. His story reminds us how fragile the lives of young rappers can be when success collides with the streets. And the violence didn't stop there, because one of the most unique voices in LA hip-hop would meet an even darker fate. Drakeo the Ruler was different. His flow was offbeat, nervous, and completely his own. But in December 2021, at the Once Upon a Time festival in Los Angeles, tragedy struck. Drakeo was stabbed backstage and later died at just 28 years old. Fans and fellow rappers mourned, saying his sound had changed the game. He was a voice of the city, silenced in the very place he repped the hardest.
P&B Rock wasn't from LA. He was a Philly kid, but LA became his final chapter. In September 2022, he was eating at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with his girlfriend when armed robbers stormed in. He was shot in broad daylight. At just 30 years old, P&B had hits like Selfish and Fleek, blending rap and R&B into a sound Gen Z loved. His death left fans terrified about how dangerous it had become to simply be a successful rapper in LA. But years before P&B, another LA native, a true community leader, was taken on his own block. Nipsey Hussle wasn't just a rapper. He was a leader, a businessman, a symbol of hope in South Central LA. But on March 31st, 2019, Nipsey was gunned down outside his own Marathon clothing store. He was only 33. His death devastated Los Angeles. The city shut down streets for his memorial, and even former presidents spoke on his impact. Nipsey was proof that hip-hop could empower communities, and his loss left a wound that still hasn't healed. And while Nipsey's death made global news, there were also young voices in LA who never got the same spotlight.
Mac P-Dog was only 23, a member of Shoreline Mafia and a promising face of West Coast street rap. In April 2020, he was shot and killed in Los Angeles. Though not as widely known as others on this list, his death hit fans who followed the new wave of LA hip-hop hard. He represented raw, unfiltered talent that never got the chance to reach its full potential. And finally, one of the most heartbreaking LA rap deaths of recent years.
In October 2022, rapper Half Ounce was walking home in Koreatown, Los Angeles. He was on the phone with his pregnant wife when gunmen opened fire. He died at just 36 years old, leaving behind multiple children. While not a mainstream superstar,
His death was devastating because of the circumstances. Another example of how, no matter the fame level, the danger for rappers in Los Angeles is real.
From Pop Smoke's Hollywood Hills mansion to Nipsey's own neighborhood in South Central, Los Angeles has been the setting for some of rap's most tragic endings. These 8 rappers, some Gen Z stars on the rise, others established voices of a generation, all lost their lives in the same city of dreams. Their stories remind us that behind the fame, there's risk, violence, and heartbreak. If nothing else, may their legacies continue to inspire, and may their deaths serve as a warning of how fragile life truly is in the world of hip-hop.